So, one of my favorite cards of all time, and a card I use in so many black decks, Reassembling Skeleton is getting a reprint. That art, though.
And the flavor text.
The flavor text is also very much on theme because I love Good Color Gisa. I can't bear to watch these things put themselves back together, Geralf. They remind me of the time you try to cut your own hair. A tragic abomination.
Love it. It's great.
So it's just a really good black card. It just keeps on coming back over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Kiki Jiki is getting a reprint.
Yeah.
One of the reasons I also like is because of this art.
Yeah.
When you look at the because he's the mirror breaker. When you look at the mirrors, you could see a little cat.
Yep.
A little hint at what he combos with. Because he combos with
like two different cats, isn't he?
Felidar Guardian, and Felidar Guardian is a cat beast.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This card, Orengo had it in his list, but I just couldn't not put it.
Yeah.
Which is Preston the Vanisher. He reads, he's 3 and a white, legendary creature, rabbit wizard, of course. This is the first actual new card. Whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, if it wasn't cast, create a token that's a copy of that creature, except is a 0/1 white illusion. Then he has the ability, 1 and a white, sacrifice 5 illusions, exile target non-land permanent. And he is a 2/5. This is really good. Mm-hmm. And the reason he can be very good is because you play a lot of like white has a surprising amount of reanimation, as older cards used to reanimate more often, and that's a part of identity of white that it's getting back more and more. And flicker and blink have always been part of white. So when you exile a creature and it comes back, it enters the battlefield and it wasn't cast. So you do create a copy of that. And there's loops you can do with 2 creatures. You have a Charming Prince and a Flicker Wisp. You exile the Flicker Wisp with the Charming Prince. When the Flicker Wisp enters, you're gonna exile the Charming Prince, and then the copy can target the Charming Prince, and the original. No, the copy targets the Flicker Wisp, and the original targets the Charming Prince, and then you start creating a loop because every single time you start creating even more and more creatures.
Can you just go off of Felidar?
Yes. So Felidar Guardian makes you go infinite. The thing being, the detail being, is that you need to make Felidar Guardian enter the battlefield, and it wasn't cast in order to start the combo. Because Felidar Guardian, the copy will target, like if you manage to enter it without it being cast, the copy will target the original, and the original can target a land. They flicker, and now you make another one and keep on going. Every single time you start floating a mana, it's infinite mana, infinite creatures, and because you have infinite creatures and they're all 0/1s, it's infinite removal. So you can exile everyone's non-land permanents.
Wow.
Everyone's non-land permanents.
Well, yeah, because you got the infinite mana too. That's insane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you have any creature that draws you a card, because Wall of Omens is a creature that draws you a card, and it is white, probably something you want to be playing here anyways, because it's a good flicker target. There's another creature that gains you a life and draws you a card. Rumor Gatherer, which is from Nuka Pena. If it's like the second creature you play this turn, you make you scry 1 and then draw a card.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When it's the first, you just scry 1. He is very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Next card is Magnanimous Magistrate. 5 and a white, creature, human advisor, 3/4. Magnanimous Magistrate enters the battlefield with 5 reprieve counters on it. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, if its mana value was 1 or greater, You may remove that many reprieve counters from Magnanimous Magistrate. If you do, return that creature to the battlefield under its owner's control. Mono white, this is just mono white reanimation, and I'm all for it.
Yeah, and it's also a great target for like Preston essentially too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bringing back the Magistrate, making a copy of it, having it entered like with the counters, then having a sack outlet with this would be freaking phenomenal.
Yeah. And the last card is actually one I'm actually very excited to see play. I don't think I'll build it, but I'm very much excited to see play. So, Agris costs Eternal Soldier. 3 white for a legendary creature Spirit Soldier. He is a 3/4 Vigilance. When Argus costs Eternal Soldier becomes the target of an ability, that targets only it. A 1 and a hybrid 4 white. If you do, copy that ability for each other creature you control that ability could target. Each copy targets a different one of those creatures. Now, this doesn't seem that like wow, because it's only when you target it with an ability. And other commanders that are to this is whenever you target it with a spell. The risk becomes interesting is because of 2 cards that have been printed recently. Jax is the Troublemaker. Red is her to create a target creature. And that creature, you have to sacrifice it at the end of the combat, and then draw a card. So if you target Agris Coast and then pay 2 more mana, you basically can create a copy of each creature on the battlefield under your control, and against them you sacrifice them all and then draw a card for each one. That's a lot of cards. That's a good card. Then there's the other one, which is I had to look him up because I forget his name. His name is Duke Older Ravenguard. So this is a card rare from Baldur's Gate. 4 red and a white for a 5/5, and it says at the beginning of combat on your turn, another target creature you control gains haste and myriad until end of turn. So you target Agris, you pay 1 and a white, and then just target everything. And everything's gains myriad and haste. You can attack one person, and then you're just attacking everyone with the same amount of creatures, which is insane. I'm sure there's more like interesting stuff you can do with him, but that's what one of my friends and what I've checked up, and he can be very, very good for Boros colors.
That's really interesting. So, the last person in the hot seat.